Hello everyone, you all are welcome to my hip and butt padding class. You can see how it is on my client. So I've gone ahead to draft my back and front pattern without allowance. Please do not add allowance, okay? This is my zip allowance. I usually use a curve, and so that's what you can see there. But everything is my client's measurement. Now, on the front, you see that I have my waist, my hips, and knee. So on the front, on the waistline, I'm going to come down by 1.5 inch, come down by 1.5 inch. Then on the hip line, I'm going to come in from the side with 5 inches. Like so. And then on the knee line, I'm going to come up by 2 inches. Yes, like so. So 1.5 at the top from the waist, then 5 inches on the hip line and 2 inches above the knee line. Then I would connect it with my French curve, like so, and connect it to the top, like so. Yes. So when I'm done, I'll just make this pointy edge like a curve. We don't want any pointy edges. You just curve it in like so. I went ahead to label because it's important to label when you're making your hip pad. Very important. So I'll just go ahead to cut it right out like so. And our front hip pad is ready. On the back pattern, I'm going to come down by 1.5 inch on the waist, and then on the hip line, I'm going to come in by 1 inch from the zip allowance, and then from the knee line, I'm going to go up by 2 inches. So to get the butt curve, I'm going to mark 13 inches from the waist line. So as to get that butt curve, I'm just going to mark 13 inches like this, and then I'm going to come in by 4 inches from the 13 inch. Then I'll go ahead to connect the lines. So I'm going to draw a curve connecting the butt curve to the hip. Just take your time. And then I'm going to connect the curve to the waistline. So we're going to remove all the sharp edges by connecting them with a curve, because the butt is not sharp, it's a curve. So connect it like so, and then on the butt curve too, we're going to curve it out like this. Just making everything smooth. So we went 1.5 inch downward, we came in by 1 inch on the hip line, we came down from the waistline with 13 inches to be able to get the butt curve, and then we came up by 2 inches from the knee line, and we came in by 4 inch to get the butt curve. Now we'll just go ahead to label, which I told us is very important to label. And then we'll just go ahead to cut it like this. And with this, we are done with the back panel. So our back and front hip pad is ready. I've gone ahead to mark the side to side. We're going to be using the 1/2 inch foam because my client don't want it to be too big, and I'll be cutting 2 of this. So let's get into it. So using the front panel, I'm going to cut 2 of this, and I'm also going to do the same thing to the back. So I'm just going to cut 2 of this. Now I have both the back and the front butt ready. I went ahead to label it to the up down side, then I have the right side, and I also have the left side. Moving on, I want to go ahead to trim the edges so that it will become very thin like this. So you take your time to do it all round. You trim the edge so it become nice and flat. It will look smooth. It's not going to be bumpy. So you want to take your time to do this all the way around for the 4 pads. Now I've trimmed them, they're all ready. The label too are also intact. So I'm going to go ahead to use hairstay to cover it like so. We're going to gum it on both sides. So you want to lay it flat, nice and smooth, like this, and then get your iron and then lay it down nice and flat. You want to take your time to do this so you won't have bubbles inside. So once you're done with the front, you do the same thing too at the back. Then let's not forget to label. This is the left side, this is the up, down, and then the side, because we're going to be joining the hip pad side to side. So I'm going to flip it to the other way and put the hairstay on the other side too. I want to make sure the hip pad is nice, neat, and flat. That's the whole point of taking our time to do this. Then iron it nice. Once you've gotten the hang of it, you find out that it's not hard to actually do hip padding. Yeah. So once I'm done with this one, I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the other ones. Okay, so I've gone ahead to attach my hairstay and also sew it all around to give it a neat and fine finishing. I've also labeled the hips right and left so that we will not miss it. So I'm going to be joining side to side. I've gone ahead to join it side to side. You can see how nice and fine and neat it looks. So yes, we've come this far. Now to attach it on our lining. So take note that the lining is going to have the exact measurement, hip measurement of your client, while the dress will be the one that will have an extra 2 inches. So my client's hip is 41 inches. That's what I used on the lining, and then on the main fabric I used 43 inches for the hips. Now we're going to be coming down by 1.5 inches from the waist. I'm going to mark 1.5 inch from the waist like so. That's where I'm going to be attaching the hip pad from, because I don't want it to start from the waist. So I'm going to be attaching this one. We're going to be sewing the middle, attaching the middle of the hip pad to the middle of the sewing so that it will be neat and nice. I'm also going to be doing the same thing to the other side of the hip. I'm going to come down by 1.5 inch. Sorry, my camera did not capture that side. And then I'm going to place the hip pad 1.5 inch from the waist. I'm going to be sewing it all the way round. So I'm going to go to my machine to do that, sewing it in the middle and sewing it all round. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share if you've come this far. Thank you. All right, I've gone ahead to attach the hip pad on both sides. You can see how nice and flat it looks. I sew it in the middle and also sew it all round. This is the way it looks at the back, and it's just so nice and flat, and I love it. So this is it. We're just trying it on. So this is on the lining. You can see how nice it looks on both sides. Yeah, so all you just have to do is go ahead to turn it on your fabric, on the main fabric, and we're good to go. This is it on my client. She loved it. Everything was where it's supposed to be, and she loved it very much. Thank you so much for staying tuned. See you in my next video.